Welcome and thank you for joining today. My name is Juanita Olguin. I'm a product marketing manager at Coveo, and today I'm joined by Leisha Langston, who is the IT business analyst at nCino, as well as by VJ Watkins, who's a business analyst for the online community at nCino. So welcome, Leisha and VJ. Could you explain to those that are not familiar with nCino a little bit about the company and the mission?
So nCino is the worldwide leader in cloud banking. Built on Salesforce, nCino is an end-to-end bank operating system that's used by over 1,100 financial institutions throughout the world to solve business processes, improve efficiencies, and improve the customer experience. Our mission is to transform financial services through innovation, reputation, and speed.
For us at nCino, the people are so important. Our customers, everyone that we work with every day, it's all about just how can we make their lives easier and more valuable through what we do.
The two of you bring a very interesting perspective because you present the online community leader perspective as well as the IT business analyst. So before we jump into questions today, I wanted to ask if you could just share what is your relationship on a day-to-day basis? How do you guys work together?
My role at nCino as IT business analyst is to be really focused on working with our company stakeholders and also our IT vendors to just identify and manage projects that help us to ensure we're getting the most out of our systems and meeting all of our company business needs. So I work a lot with BJ in regards to optimizing the community and using the technology that we have available, such as Coveo, to do that. And we're constantly checking in with each other and making sure that we're hitting those milestones as we go about doing that through each project that we work on.
Yeah, and I'm a business analyst specific for nCino Community, which is our online community where our customers, employees, and partners can all come together and collaborate, ask questions. There's also all of our product documentation in our knowledge base. We've got training in our university portal, and then we've got the opportunity in community for those customers to submit cases when the time is right. And so every day my job is really just to keep a tab on that community and make sure that things that we've implemented, the technology specifically, is still working properly, also using the data that we collect to analyze the platform and identify opportunities to improve things as we move forward. So Leisha is kind of serving us as our customer internally, and I'm serving the customers external to the company.
Moving on to the community portal specifically, can you both talk about what you were looking to do there? What were you looking to accomplish, and how are you looking to change your community portal?
So to start out with, we had sent one of our tech writers to go and collect some information about how users were using our community, and we wanted to get feedback from them on things that we could improve. And the number one thing that they came back with was our search. And we have countless situations where just the documentation was difficult to find, and but we really want to help our customers self-service as much as possible and just empower them with that documentation, of course, but they couldn't find it. And so that was ultimately the biggest challenge that we noticed right off the bat that we were looking to Coveo to solve for us. Another thing that we wanted to work on was improving our case submission process, and VJ might speak a little bit more to that.
Yeah, so what we wanted to do was hopefully leverage Coveo to provide a more intelligent case submission process and ideally deflect more cases. So we've got over 6,000 articles in our knowledge base, and we know that there's answers to most of our customers' questions. It's just a matter of being able to find the right answer at the right time. So using Coveo, what we're trying to do is, again, provide that premier search experience, but use that information to cater recommendations for our customers in the case submission process.
Got it. That's great. Just a quick question. Was it mostly focused on the case submission for external customers, or was there any internal sort of help desk and IT requests that you're solving for as well on your community?
Just for external users.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will add that our internal users were also having the same frustrations about searching for things and not finding the answers, because when our support engineers were picking up cases, they're going in and they're trying to search this knowledge base. So while the primary focus was those external customers, we also saw the value that we were able to provide internally.
Have you gotten any feedback from end customers using the portal? Do they notice the difference? Anything you can share there?
As someone who, my customers are the business, I hear a lot from our support engineers, and one that I do remember specifically had been trying to solve a case for, I think it was around maybe almost 3 months by that time, and the first day that we went live with Coveo, she was able to, she just did a quick search, just like a Hail Mary, I guess. And the documentation that solved that case pulled right up for her. And she thought that was just so amazing. So there were also some other stories of just documentation that was very commonly searched for by our support engineers. They used to have to scroll down the page in order to get it because they knew that it was there. But after Coveo was implemented, that rose right to the top for them to grab that quicker. And they absolutely loved that.
Yeah, and I'll just add kind of, as a whole, one of the really great indicators of the success has been our ability to measure the time users are spending on our site, accompanied by how many pages they're visiting. So what we noticed is immediately after implementing Coveo, users were visiting one fewer page every visit. That might have seemed like a negative, but they were actually spending more time on their pages. So what we were doing was eliminating their need to click on unnecessary documentation, and we were taking them right to the most important thing, and they were then being able to focus their attention and get a better result because of it.
That's really great. And that's a different perspective, because I think everyone's always looking at how many pages you're clicking on as a positive indicator, but actually for you, it's the opposite in a good way, because
yeah, we want to maximize their time and their attention. We don't want to waste their time with clicking on unnecessary content. We want to give them exactly what they need.
Absolutely. So one of the areas I think you two were sharing about were the power of analytics and how you're using that to really understand your audience. Do you want to speak to that a little bit more?
Yeah, so that's really my bread and butter every single day. It's really what gets me going, and I love digging into data. So it's been a real pleasure to see this new information that we've been able to collect with the Coveo usage analytics. And what that's helped us to do is identify patterns that our customers are having and maybe where we're not as successful. So specifically, we can find areas where we're not seeing as many results or as many clicks on specific queries or keywords. So that's an opportunity for us to go to our knowledge team and our tech writing team and say, hey, can you guys add some more content? We think our customers are having problems specific to this solution and they need more support in the form of documentation. So really the data is, in my opinion, the best way to measure, what we're doing right and what we need to do differently.
Aside from technology, could you share other challenges that you faced in trying to implement a change to your community portal? Anything you can share there?
Yeah, so I think a lot of what we do is a bit manual. So what we're always trying to do is streamline processes and become more efficient, whether it's our support engineers having to take fewer cases or whether it's us allowing users to register themselves instead of us doing it for them. So anytime that we can become more efficient, I think that's really one of our challenges. And ultimately technology tends to be the solution to those questions and those issues.
It helps. What about Alicia? Any thoughts on challenges working with the business, since you do represent, IT, and obviously technology is a key part of that. Any specific challenges you want to share?
Yeah, so when someone on VJ's team, for example, identifies those areas where they need to improve efficiency and build a process around that, that's usually when they come to me and to our IT dev team to see how we can do that. And one of the challenges for me on my side of things is that we do have a smaller team and we serve this entire big growing business now. And so we have to be able to balance all of those requests that are coming in. And sometimes that can be hard with a small team to identify what those priorities are. And so that's where, we have to really, again, go back into that data. Like now we're really starting to make these business decisions internally based off of data as well, to see, where are we maybe like losing this valuable time, or we're not utilizing this system and optimizing it out so that we get the most value out of what we're paying for it. And so then I'm able to use that information to take that to our team, and we can prioritize the projects in that way. Because our projects list is just a mile long, and we want to get to everything because we know how important it is to our business stakeholders to be able to get things done. That's one of our core values at nCino is getting things done. And, we actually have a company award for that, getting the Get Stuff Done award. So it's high up there in our values for sure. And so I'd love to make it happen for people.
What are you looking to see happen in the next year with the technology or with the portal? What are you most looking forward to happening?
Yeah, for nCino community, I definitely want to continue to expand upon that intelligence case submission process. And so what we want to do is make it more of a conversation. So when the user is coming in and trying to submit their information, we're actually giving them more catered fields based on the information that they're providing. So just elaborating on that case submission process to really customize it for each individual user and each individual problem.
I think that's something that would be exciting to see happen over the next year. And we will have had Coveo implemented for a full year coming up this July, which is really exciting. And so I feel like we've just only started to scratch the surface of what we can do with this tool inside of our community. And I think that there are also ways that we can continue to make our support engineers' lives easier, especially, and also our knowledge management team, just by continuing to, again, do things like improving our case submission process or delivering that content that they need at the right time so that they're able to self-service. So I'm excited to just see that continue to improve, because I just think we're only scratching the surface, and it's been neat to see in such a short amount of time how we've been able to just make our lives a little bit easier in the business with that, with Coveo.
Any last tips or recommendations for anyone else going through this process, looking to use technologies for their portals or the business generally? Anything you'd like to share, recommendations or tips?
So for me, I love technology. I think it's great, but I also believe in human collaboration, and in our business, when we do have smaller teams, that is so important to be able to make sure that when you are taking on a new project, there's going to be change brought on by that project. And so communicating the vision and backing up your reasoning for the change is going to be important depending on the style of your team and the people you're working with, but also the importance of collaborating with vendors and recognizing when, someone like you guys at Coveo you guys go above and beyond, and it's been such a pleasure to work with you on our projects and implementations. And so, that collaboration is so key. Just anytime you move forward and looking at the process that you are implementing or technology you're implementing, and identifying, the benefits and communicating that to people in your team really gets them to work together and collaborate. So.
Yeah, and I think it's also been really helpful for us because early on in the process, we got buy-in from especially our support department, because we knew that this was going to directly impact them, because the more successful customers are in self-servicing is saving them time and allowing them to focus on those higher priority issues. So getting buy-in from people has really helped us to make sure that we're constantly evaluating things. They're great at giving us feedback. So if they notice a query that's not giving them results that they're expecting, it allows us to really get it from the horse's mouth to see where we need to investigate. And I also just think understanding what that technology offers kind of beyond the surface value. So with Coveo, what I'm really impressed with truly is the usage analytics and the data that we're able to kind of gather, and how that can not just add a great search, but allow us to really understand our customers and better service them as time goes on.
That's great. Thank you. So that will wrap up our webisode for today. There will be a PDF of the case study from nCino, which you can click through in the description. BJ and Alicia, really want to thank you for the time, and hopefully we'll have you back for another webisode where you can tell us a little bit more about your new strategy for using Coveo within the company. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.